Patriots. This one here is about Chief Blanchard and the city council attacking a local church and continuously attacking a local church and then pretending like they're not, which they are, and here it all is. Pay attention.
Worship over here. I don't think any of y'all actually know how to worship Jesus. I noticed this lady stood up, said a prayer, and y'all said the Pledge of Allegiance and all that. Do y'all really know who Jesus is? Do you know what it's like to go to church on a Friday night at 7 o'clock and worship God and hear the Word of God?
Yes.
Huh? But you, Chief Blanchard, sitting your minions over there, yeah, I know all about it with your little spreadsheet and all that. It's ridiculous. How could you attack a church that helps people?
Business and the homeless that are outside of her business. So here's her story.
My name is Teresa Fraser. I am the pastor here at the Remnant Church in Aransas, Texas. And 2 days ago, some officers came here, and the homeless were here in the church. We had 72 hours to vacate the property. An officer called me and told me that they had came here and told the gentleman that they had 72 hours to vacate the property, and that if these gentlemen came back, then I would get a citation, that myself and the owner of the property would get citations, as well as them, that they could not be here, and that we would be held accountable for any of the homeless that came up here. And so they said that if I would put up the no trespassing signs, that I would not get the citations for anybody that would come here, and that the camping was not allowed, that we were basically drawing the homeless in here. And I had told them that if they're not here, they're going to be downtown, so that they were looking for a safe place, and that's what we provide for them, is a safe place, safe environment here for them to stay.
Which is the only church in the Aransas Pass area that actually cares enough and has enough compassion for people to help people, and you want to attack them with your stupid spreadsheet under the color of over public property? That is not public property. That is private property. Okay? Ms. Tracy has put up signs that says private members only on there because it is private property. And she can tell people that they can be there and that they can't be there. She has that right. We have the right to life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. We have the right to protect ourselves and our loved ones, like Jason just said. It is ridiculous that you, Mr. Gomez, allow this to happen.
Mayor, I'd like to respond real quick, just so that the council understands.
Council, this
Okay,
is
my comment
this is
Listen
citizens.
to the attorney.
This is citizens' comments. This is not citizens' discussion. You're not allowed to answer any questions for matters that are not on the agenda.
And the Remnant is an organization that does have righteous motivation, and my team has been working with them to come into compliance with new state law in presenting a plan. There are certain requirements in that state law in the best interest of the service they intend on providing to those members of their organization, but they have to meet that criteria, and we've been working with them for several months.
So if the lady across from HEB that sits on the bench every day is the owner of HEB and that property going to get a citation like you were threatened with a citation?
Probably not.
So why do you think they're targeting you?
Probably because we're all over the Aransas Pass page, and Aransas Pass people, some of them are really nice and they want us here helping, and some of them just don't want
Right now,
Okay. I'm not gonna put up with your outburst. You sit there and be quiet. You already got your time to speak.
It's citizens' comments.
No. Y'all already had y'all's time to speak. All right, no.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Don't
So y'all gonna keep interrupting so we can get you out?
let the citizens talk.
my team has been waiting for an opportunity to vet this action with legal, and we have since provided that to the new city attorney. And we've delayed any escalated enforcement because, again, we've been working very closely with the owner, trying to help her understand and navigate those new requirements of this state law. And we look forward to seeing a constructive conclusion from the city legal department.
Patriots, he is referring to HB 1925, which was passed in May of 2021. It is not a new law. HB 1925 creates an offense of a Class C misdemeanor, which is just a ticket, if a person intentionally or knowingly camps in a public place without the consent of the legal authority that manages the public place. Well, the church said they could stay there. So what are you going to do now, Chief Blanchard?
HB 1925, the definitions is what he's using for a public place to harass these people. What he doesn't tell them is the rest of the definitions explain that is a political subdivision, which is a separate legal entity of the state. That's private property, buddy. You don't own it, do you? You're not the manager of it? I didn't think so. Section 4805, prohibiting camping, provides that the person commits an offense if the person intentionally or knowingly camps in a public place without the effective consent of the officer.
I always like to show my work, unlike Chief Pancake. This is HB 1925, and if you read right here, Section 805, prohibited camping, provides a person commits an offense if he intentionally or knowingly camps in a public place without the effective consent of the officer or the agency, because it's made for public property.
Or agency. It's not designed for private property, you moron. Having the legal duty of the authority to manage the public place. Is the church owned by you guys? No, so leave them alone and quit harassing them. I hope she sues your ass too.
Continue. Section 4805, prohibited camping, defines camp or shelter, provided that a person commits an offense if the person intentionally or knowingly camps in a public place without the effective consent of the officer or agency having the legal duty or authority to manage the public place. What does that tell us, guys? That it's for public places, public property. They're talking about officers, government entities, not a private owner. This guy is a complete dipshit, and he knows this already, guys, because I've sent it to him, and they know, and they still harass these people. With that said, though, notice how they backed off. They know they're wrong, but they're still going to put it out there and print it in the paper that the church is breaking the law. I'm going to show y'all here in a minute.
Department working with them to try to get that fixed, or against them?
Mayor?
I didn't, yes, go ahead.
Like I explained, when the complaints started coming in about this location and some of the things that were happening from some of the people staying there, we had to address those concerns from the community. In addressing those concerns, we both see the righteous effort that's being made.
The police came up on us yesterday. This will be the third time they've done it, and told us that we couldn't stay outside here, though we got permission from the owners. And they say it's illegal to camp inside city limits and stuff, but we're not camping. This is just where we live.
But we also have the law and the concerns on the other side that guide us or govern how we must respond. So we're trying to work with them. If they want to make it a homeless encampment at that location, there are particular requirements under state law that must be first achieved. And
so the homeless have a right just like me and you have a right, and everybody's got a right to live.
Exactly.
Okay. So if you're protecting them from the shelter, what's the issue? Or you're sheltering them is what I mean. What's the issue? Because it's hot.
I don't know.
And it is for the betterment. Look, for example, my understanding of it is medical health care, mental health care, and well-being services, stuff like that. But again, until I have conclusive legal direction from our city legal, we have suspended any enforcement effort because it is a new law and we want to make sure that we respond to it appropriately.
I've had conversations with that landlord.
Yes.
Yeah.
We get when a citizen goes up there and talks. Chief Blanchard puts on the newspaper. This is the Aransas Progress, guys. These are scumbags too. This guy, Mark, only publishes what the city tells him to and does not publish the truth, as he has yet to publish that I won every single court case against the city. But besides that, I'm focusing on the church. Fraser, who was seemingly unaware that Blanchard had pledged to delay any escalated enforcements, was told by the newspaper. That should be a huge red flag that this is a lying SOB. If he was really communicating with the owner of the church, she would know that, hey, we're backed off. But no, that's not the case. They've harassed her. They went to her business numerous times over the last year. They met with her in private, guys, to do an interview and then denied me the body cam feed of it. These guys are just total scumbags. And when I asked them for the body cam feed of when they went to the church, guess what they said? Nope, because we're under criminal investigation. Well, no, they're not. They're full of crap. Blanchard is the scum of the earth.
First off, thank you for Blanchard. I see that he is bumping the brakes, so to speak. Citizens are concerned because there have been 2 newspaper articles about this, including one on the 14 days ago. And when the police chief said something. Now, let's talk about HB 1925. That is shelter, that includes permanent shelter. Section 107 designates the church as a public place.
All right, guys, let me chime in right here. What he's talking about, yes, it would designate it as a public place if it was open to 51% or more of the population. However, when Chief Blanchard started harassing them and kept harassing them, I went to Tracy, the owner of the church, and I told her, make it a membership only, just to ruffle his feathers and stop him in the tracks, and which she did. So it's no longer a public place because it's members only access, just like my gym. Go Patriots.
Yes, they have a privacy fence on it. However, the Fuentes property on 10th Street is now a public place. That person has built a shelter on that place. That person, in my opinion, is in direct violation of 1925, since 1925 legally classifies anything except clothing as shelter.
Patriots, Jacob's a smart man. What he did right here is the Fuenteses have a property in town, and that property was basically poached by another individual who built a house on his property, in which there's a video about that in my feeds. With that said, though, the man is basically homeless because that's not his property. So what he's saying is, if you can go harass a church, how come you're not harassing this guy for being in somebody's property without their permission? Thus homeless, right? He's living on their property, not living in his house because he don't have one. He's on their property. Jacob's a genius and it's stuck at a Chief Blanchard.
He has sustained a living accommodation. There's a 2AC. He's cooking on the property. He is storing personal belongings for an extended time on the property, and he is sleeping on the property. HB 1925 says that this build is camped on the Fuentes property, which is now a public place because they have a member of the public build a house on their property without owner consent. But let's target some homeless guys that are operating out of a Goodwill Church program. I am concerned about this because of Penal Code Chapter 32. That's a fraud. He gave y'all permits. Y'all approved them. Mr. Edwards said that those permits were fired fraudulently on his Facebook post. I'm ad-libbing hell. But
That's when I stepped in. I will not allow you to trample on any constitutional rights of any citizen in this town. I will be there anytime they call me to defend them from you. You bring continual shame to our community and our country every single day.
All right. So she has taken down the no trespassing signs that she was pretty much forced to put up. It's her property, and she can tell whoever she wants to come and go on her property if she pleases. So the police officers have no right to take that down, or have no right to force her to take people off her property. It's private.